The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend of the NFL is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Gets around him. And the decision to bring it out in a good one as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Second down following the run. They'll set up to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. They'll drop the throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Lopez. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
Let's go! Green 39!
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Fleming. And he's brought down. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a
different story.
long night.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra hut, that extra emphasis on it, got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Right side caught by Jackson. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one goes for 24 yards.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, they have to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now a handoff here to his running back. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Second and goal as the offense looks to try to punch it in. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. And the big meat on the D-line. We'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Steven Anderson from 4 yards out. And the Texans have taken the early lead. And all the pressure that goes on in these playoffs, but the first score here in the divisional round always very key.
Partner, this team handled it like it was a regular season game, that they were confident in what they were doing, came right out and established themselves early.
And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the result, a Houston touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And out come the Dolphins now. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
They'll look to throw now on first down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
Now back to throw. They find some open field here. And he slides to avoid the hit. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. They'll look to throw here on first down. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. It'll be a gain of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd down. And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. They'll set up a throw, and he comes back with one complete. And he gets it down to the 32. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
All right, I'm doing my rudimentary math here. That's his 3rd catch here in the first quarter. I don't know if it's just game plan or he's just finding his way open.
And maybe a little of both. So they'll pass on what would have been a 49-yard field goal attempt, and they're going for it on 4th down. And again this time to the tailback. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
4th and inches, does he get the first? You bet he does. He knows exactly where he needs to be, and he's going to fight his way forward to get a couple of yards and ensure he keeps the chains moving.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Caru's got it, complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. We have played a quarter here in this AFC divisional playoff. It's a close game here early on. And we'll be back to South Florida after this. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. And they've got a decision to make here on 4th down and 2. And Parkey's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took them a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Dolphins defense, they get set to go here. Last drive, touchdown surrendered. Here, see if they can stop them.
It's always a constant battle of letting the last series go, good or bad, but especially bad. Give up a touchdown. Okay, forget the finger pointing, forget the blame. Go back out and play the defense you know you're capable of and help your team out.
And probably look to the leaders, as always.
As always. They're going to be the ones going to grab some people and say, all right, let's do this thing.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here. And an alley to run. Got some room at the 30. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
This drive started with 1st and goal. Now that it's 4th and goal, anything less than a touchdown would feel like a letdown to me.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. And Parkey's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So they recover the fumble but could not take advantage of the short field. They do get 3.
And no one ever turns down 3 points going up on the board. But the offense will go to the sidelines wondering what if. While the defense on the other side, they'll celebrate holding them to just a field goal after giving up such bad field position.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. And a couple of big boys up front defensively, and in that 4-3, those D tackles so vital. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And it'll be Dolphin football. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super toe. Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack?
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Christian Covington able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. The wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down.
What's the old adage, be quick but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go. Green, 39.
He'll look to throw. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They didn't. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on second down. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now a handoff here to his running back. And not much here as he'll get it to the 11, maybe the 12-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's fourth down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That's a 49-yard punt, 8, though, on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And some room to roam now. Skirts by him at the 35. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Larry Ridley at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. Back to throw now on first down. And some room to work. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make this a second down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Jackson's got it over the middle. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. First and goal here from the 2. He'll drop to throw. And this results in 6. Touchdown. It's their quarterback with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
And that lead is now 7 with a chance to go to 8 or more if they want to get crazy here, which we don't expect. But I just know the way the game's being played with the analytics, there's going to be a lot more going for 2 in a lot of situations, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be. And I think their focus here, they don't want to give up anything going into the lockers on the other, and just a little bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything to erase the good feeling they have right now by getting this late score in the half.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game, probably something they need to do more of here losing in the second quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Over the middle, complete. It's Lopez. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw. Throw left side, complete. That's Lopez. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I know that halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
Here we go.
They're going to look to throw. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they? When they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver.
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And they give this time to the tailback. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
So it's on to halftime of this AFC divisional round matchup as we send you up to Orlando. And with our EA Sports halftime report, here's Larry Ridley.
All right, Brandon, we'll see if I can get through this without being skipped as we welcome you to our EA Sports halftime report. The Dolphins have controlled the flow, but it hasn't given them a big advantage. The Texans won't care how much their offense is on the field as long as they find a way to advance in these playoffs. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Now midway through the first, they'll go with their run here, and he'll be tackled at the 41-yard line. Dolphins would stall out, though, and settle for a field goal. Now to late in the first half. Klug's going to take off here, and this 5-play drive goes for a touchdown, which takes the lead to 8. So that's all for us here at the EA Sports Studio. We'll get you back out to the field now for some more playoff action.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. They have the lead, now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else. Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it a second down. Decent chunk of yardage still left here, 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball, and then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half. Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
He'll look to throw. And he's got some space here. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. The Dolphins on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you can tempt to play the field position game.
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Whoosh. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. That's good for a Texan 1st down, a 12-yard pickup. And he'll give it here to his running back. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They'll set up to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jackson. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
The Texans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. To throw here. And this is caught at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
They'll drop to throw. This is caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Steven Anderson, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Texans will extend their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
So that drive goes 8 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Here we go now. 3-19.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Lopez. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. He only needed a yard, but he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And this Texans defense stands tall. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. That throw good for 4. It's second down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time. And in this situation with the lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
On third down, that's Haynes. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And here now the offense heading back out there. And several days ago, you and I talked with a couple of guys in the meetings about how big is home field advantage. And they kind of downplayed it a bit, but I think we're seeing here today, building up this lead, looks like they're going to win. Why home field advantage in the divisional round so important?
Yeah, they may have downplayed it, but we could also sense that it was important to them because nothing has to change. You don't have to uproot anything. Sometimes when you're going on the road, you may have to even leave earlier in order to get acclimated if it's going to be a tough environment against the team you're going to play. So being at home was a big deal. But now they know, at least they feel like it, they're moving on to the championship round. There's got to be no better feeling. They'll get that 24-hour rule in. Enjoy that before they look forward to the next opponent.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Over the middle, complete. It's Lopez. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure they only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. Man complete over the middle. That's Lopez. A gain of 6 there on first. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Four yards remaining now on second down. Complete. It's Lopez. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. The Miami first down. That one going for a gain of 11.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. man complete over the middle. It's Lopez. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And put a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And some space here. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
Incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
All right, here we go.
His throw caught at about the 5. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. 32 yards. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. A close call here. Did the ball cross the plane? I don't know. From the naked eye, this was tough to tell.
Always difficult when there's such a tangle of bodies around. You're just trying to find the ball and make sure just a portion of it crossed the plane of the goal line.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great play there. Taking it in. And the Dolphins are able to draw a bit closer.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
And he spins through, and he's got room. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
Time is starting to run out, really becoming a factor. We'll see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back to the offense.
Here we go now. Blue landed.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Now a handoff looking right, and now running right through it. A good productive run there on first down. He winds up getting 8. And at this stage of the game, time a factor, time on their side as they just try to eke out the final precious moments of this one.
All right, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he fires one incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. The Texans on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd down and 12.
Hurry up, here we go.
And some room to maneuver. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. And he slings one that's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Yards still left on 2nd down. And to give this time to the tailback. A solid stiff arm. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop. 1:50 left in the football game. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup. and get set as we resume action. And he'll give it here to his running back. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The offense on third down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And his kick is good. And that will bump the lead up to 11. So barring something extraordinary, something crazy here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Brandon, this will be a great win for them. The better team's going to win this game, no question about it.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
It's a loss of 8 there on the first down play. And the spike comes now with just under 40 ticks left. And looking at Houston defensively, they've got a dime set. 6 DBs on third. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off near the 34. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
And now out comes Houston. The clock cannot be stopped here. Defense can't do anything. So kneel it down, take it home.
No doubt about it. It's what you practice for in winning situations each and every week. Victory formation. Take a knee and go on into the locker room and celebrate.
Call it a victory. They go to a knee here, and with that, it's on to the AFC title game. So they stay alive in the NFL playoffs, move on to the conference championship. And do you think that the printing press is starting to get those T-shirts and hats ready, my friend?
They have to, Brandon. They have to be ready because if you win, you've got to hand those out on the field right away. And just think about the pressure for the players now. Families are going to be talking about tickets to the Super Bowl even before.